This conference will now be recorded.
So in this class, we are going to study about the composite magnetic circuits. The composite magnetic circuit, in the sense they will be having series magnetic circuits, parallel magnetic circuits, and combination of series and parallel magnetic circuits, plus some different mediums. A composite medium in the sense a medium consisting of two or more mediums, not a single medium here, not a single magnetic medium. We will be having the iron medium plus air gaps also, or else we will be having different mediums, sheet of alloys, an iron medium, cast steel, or etc. So all these topics are going to be understood in this class. We'll try to understand them. We'll proceed. So that basically the series magnetic circuit is the one. Series circuits and parallel circuits are exactly similar to our electrical systems. In electrical systems, we'll be having the series and magnetic circuits. Series and parallel circuits. What are the basic properties of series circuits in the electrical systems? Basic property of series electrical circuits. So the basic property of series circuit is that current flowing in all of the series connected elements is same. So in a series electrical circuit, current is same, right? In a series circuit, current is same, and in parallel circuit here, voltage is same, right? In the electrical parallel circuits, voltage value is same. Likewise, in the magnetic circuits also, we will be having certain things are to be kept constant. In the first class of about the magnetic circuit, as you have seen the analogy between an electrical circuit and magnetic circuits. There we came across the thing is that the flux phi is analogous to an electric current, and mmf is analogous to voltage in the electrical circuit, right? So like that here, a series magnetic circuit meaning that the flux passing through in all of the series connected elements is same. So that if the flux in different magnetic elements is same, then the type of magnetic circuit can be called a series magnetic circuit. And similarly, if mmf is same, in all of the parallelly connected magnetic circuits, then that can be called a parallel magnetic circuit. Or in other words, or in terms of current, in a parallel circuit, V is same, but I is different, right? I is different in parallel electrical circuits. Similarly, here also, now in the parallel magnetic circuits here, the flux is different. You will be having different fluxes. You will be having different fluxes here. So that a KVCL law can be applicable to parallel magnetic circuits. I repeat once again. In a series magnetic circuit, the flux is same. The flux is same. But in the parallel magnetic circuit here, the fluxes are different. So that you are going to considering a node at a junction, and at this junction are going to be considering different flux values. Different flux values are going to be considered at this junction here. So flux phi 1 and flux phi 2 and flux phi 3 or etc. So that are going to applying Kirchhoff current law for the fluxes in the parallel circuit. Okay, is it clear? So that if the flux is same in the magnetic elements, meaning that the circuit can be called a series magnet circuit. And if the fluxes are different and those fluxes are meeting at a junction, then the type of magnet circuit can be called a parallel magnetic circuit. Fine. So with these fundamentals, we can proceed how to solve different problems in the series circuits and parallel circuits there. So generally the problems will be coming in the series magnet circuit here, that uh, uh, there are two types of the problems will be there in the series magnetic circuits there, and their main aim is to calculate Ni, that is MMF. Magnetomotive force is MMF. So that we require to calculate the MMF in a series magnetic circuit. So that to calculate the an MMF, that is N into A, an ampere turns in the series magnetic circuit, will be given for two types of the problem. Now in the first type of the problem here, will be given the total flux value will be given. Then you need to calculate the an applied MMF. This type of problems will be generally useful in solving the problems of in the design of DC machines, DC generators and DC motors and in transformers. And second type of problems is that will be given MMF will be given, and MMF will be given, and then you need to find out the flux value. So this type of concept will be appearing in case of in the design of a magnetic amplifier. So these are the practical applications of the magnetic circuits: DC generators, DC motors, a transformer, an induction motor, and a magnetic amplifier. Different problems are these ones here. Okay, so their practical applications are these ones. So that you will be given the two types of problems: either the flux is given and you are asked to calculate the MMF, or else you will be given MMF and you need to calculate the flux value. Okay. And another type of the thing is that, to calculate the or MMF or the flux value, you need to prepare a table. This method is called as the table method. A table is to be prepared. Here for different sections of your given problem. So for example, if you have been given a transformer, for example, if you have been given a transformer and drawing transformer, so that if you have been given this type of transformer here, then you need to calculate different flux values of this transformer, so that here you will be given a sum. So for example, this frame is made up of, so for example, I'm trying to indicate with a different color. So for example, this portion is given with one type of magnetic material, side portions of the transformer core, for example, are provided with a cast iron, for example, cast iron. And one more material can be selected at the bottom side and top side of the core. You will be given of this type of material. This type of material. So that here the sections, for example, we can consider the sections of the transformer. Now we will be having different sections here. So for example, see the section A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H. So that for these different sections, you need to prepare a tabular form. You need to prepare a tabular form and indicating that what is the flux value, phi value in each section, and MMF N into I in each section. Section 1, section 2, section 3, and section 4, or etc. etc. You need to calculate the different flux values and different MMF values in a particular sections. Okay, so this is the other type of the problem where you need to prepare a table. Here. So generally these type of problems will be asked in the examination from this topic. So that's why I'm telling you this type of problems here. So let us see a problem now. Let us try to solve the problem. Are you able to follow me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Follow me. So let us try to solve some problems here. Let us try to solve some problems on series circuit. Listen carefully how to solve a problem. This is the problem given. Now in this problem here, determine this is the transformer. So first of all, try to understand the problem here. This is the transformer which is consisting of sections A, B, C, and D sections. 4 sections are there. And the primary of the transformer consisting of N1 turns of 60 turns, and primary current is 2 amperes given in the problem. On secondary side, turns on the transformer are N2 is equal 30 turns given, but you need to find out the secondary current value I2. That is, the primary MMF is given. The primary side MMF is equal to N1 into I1. That is, the MMF is equal N into I. So that the primary side MMF is equal N1 into I1 is given. Now you need to calculate the secondary side MMF, that is N2 into I2 is to be calculated. N2 into I2 is to be calculated, but in this problem an N2 is given, but I2 is to be calculated. Area of the total area throughout area of this transformer section is given as 0.15 into 10 per -3 meter square, and this length of the transformer L suffix A B C D A, that is A B C D A. This length is given. This length of this transformer is given. This is the mean length of magnetic path L. Length of the magnetic flux path from A B C D A. From A B C D A is given as 0.16 meters. But keep in mind that units of all the standard values should be in terms of meters only. We are following the SI system. Now the question is that determine the secondary current I2, this current I2 for the transformer if the resultant clockwise flux value is given. If the resultant clockwise flux value is this value, phi value is given. Okay, this is the problem given. Now we will see how to solve this problem now. Now in this from the given data, you can calculate the flux density B value. You can calculate the flux density B equal to 5 by A by substituting the flux given value on the total area of the cross section. By substituting the, you can calculate the flux density. Flux density units are flux per area, that is Weber per meter square. Weber per meter square. Weber per meter square is also called as a Tesla T, so that it is 0.1 T is calculated. So this is its equivalent magnetic circuit of the transformer. If the primary side MMF and F1, and if the secondary side an MMF and F2. This is magnetic circuit, equivalent magnetic circuit, and its equivalent electrical circuit. By using the analogy, that is converting the magnetic terms into electrical terms, you can draw the circuit here. Okay, and how to draw the circuit is not important at this stage here. Or for your information sake, I am telling that an MMF can be equivalent to an EMF in the electrical circuit, and a flux is equivalent to current I in the electrical circuit. Reluctance in the magnetic circuit is equivalent to resistance in the electrical circuit. Like that, you can write its equivalent circuit. Fine. So that we have been calculated the flux density value, B value. If once B is calculated, then from the BH loop curve we can decide the ampere. We can decide the H value. Magnetic field intensity H value can be decided from BH loop curve. Don't worry about this curve. This curve will be generally provided by the manufacturer itself. The manufacturer itself only here. So that this BH curve or hysteresis loop curve it is here. This is the hysteresis loop curve for different materials, where B, the flux density B is taken along y-axis, and x-axis is your H, magnetic field intensity H here. So this is for sheet steel type of material, and it is for cast steel type of material, and it is cast iron material. So right now in the BH loop curve, you are having the 1, 2, 3 different materials. Hysteresis loop for the 3 different materials is given. Hysteresis loop for 3 different materials is given. Your x-axis is H and y-axis is B. Have been given the hysteresis loop for 3 different materials. This is for material number 1. And another one for material number 2, material number 2, and another one for material number 3. 3 different materials. Okay, sheet steel it is 1, cast steel 2, and cast iron material 3. I have taken only some portion only as provided by the manufacturer here, so that for the calculated value of B is equal to 0.1 Tesla, if we can locate that 0.1 Tesla point is here, and corresponding to that one for the sheet steel material, you extend a line onto x-axis. You extend a line onto an x-axis, and this point is your H of 30 ampere tons per meter magnetic field intensity. Did you got this point? Did you understand this one? Okay. So once again I repeat, So first of all, you are going to be calculating the flux density. Then for the calculated flux density value from this graph as given by the manufacturer only. This BH loop curve or this HCS loop curve will be provided by the manufacturer only. So from the manufacturing graph sheet, corresponding to the with the flux density, we can extend that point onto an x-axis so that we can obtain the magnetic field intensity H value. Fine. We proceed further. So that if once that H value is determined, then we can use an Ampere circuital law. Or the Ampere circuital law, the algebraic sum of MMFs, the algebraic sum of MMF in a Arc circuit is equal to 0. Or in other words, the sum of the MMFs, the sum of rises of an MMF is equal to the sum of drops in MMF, similar to Kirchhoff voltage law. So that from the given circuit, I'm going back. So that in this circuit, as you are having an MMF1 here, this is an MMF1 F1, a primary circuit MMF1 F1, and secondary circuit MMF2 N2 into I2 plus drop in the reluctance, drop in the magnetic path R with a flux phi into flux phi into reluctance R. Okay, now come back to the same side here. So that by means of applying the an Ampere circuital law here, we can write this equation. Primary side MMF is equal to secondary side MMF plus the drop in the total length of ABCD. And simplifying that equation, we can find out an N2 term. We can find out an N2 and substituting the corresponding values, and 30 is calculated from the graph. So from the calculated 30 value I have been given, and L is given in the data of the problem itself. So that by substituting that one, we can calculate the secondary current I2 value, and then the problem is solved. Okay, do you understand this problem? Or is there any doubt in this problem? Okay, now we'll try to solve another problem here. We'll try to solve another problem. So based on a similar one here, we will try to solve this problem also here. Now in this problem here, the data is given that we need to determine the current I to establish the an indicated flux in the core value. Now we need to calculate this current value I, and the circuit is having an MMF. The circuit is having an MMF of N into I, so that there is an MMF is there, that is N into I. N into I is there, but here you need to calculate the I. Now if you can carefully observe here that this transformer core is made up of two material, sheet steel, and this bottom material is made up of cast iron. Two materials are there, cast iron material and sheet steel material. So this is an example problem for a composite magnetic circuits. You are having the two different materials, sheet steel material and cast iron material here. Now, length of the magnetic path for sheet steel and cast iron is given. So, for example, if we can think about the sheet steel material, first material is sheet steel and second material is cast iron. First material length is given as here IAB. This is AB is equal to CD and EF, that is A to B only, not B to C. B to C is second material. Talking about the first material only, that is from A to B only, and within internally and again it is from C to D, C to D, C to D, A to B and C to D and E to F. Whereas E to D is second material cast iron, and then F to A, F to A. So all this length is equal 4 inches. So total length of A, B, C, D, E, F and FA, that is sheet steel length. Sheet steel length is equal 4 into 4, 4, 4, 4. 4 into 4 is equal 16 inches. It is 16 inches. Sheet steel material total its length is 16 inches. Now coming to the second material called cast iron. This cast iron length is B to C, LBC and D to E. D to E. ID is equal to 0.5. So that this total length of the cast iron second material is equal to 0.5 plus 0.5 is equal 1 inches. Is equal, it is 1 inch. Okay, do you understand this problem? So there are two different materials are there: sheet steel material and cast iron material. Sheet steel material length is calculated as given in the problem itself as total of 16 inches, and cast iron material total its length is given in the problem as 1 inches, and total area of the transformer is given as 1 inches, and flux phi is given as 3.5 into 10 power minus 4 Weber here. So that from these two values you can calculate the flux density, right? The first material is, the first thing to be calculated is the flux density. B is equal 5 by A. B is equal 5 by A. So that from these two values you can calculate the flux density. This flux density is you can calculate from this one. Do you understand the basic problem? Yes or no? There are two materials are there. Composite materials. Carefully got to identify their length of the materials and size of that materials here. If once it is clear, then the procedure is again same. Calculation of B and calculation of MMF for each material, so that from this calculated value you can calculate the H value for sheet steel and H value for cast iron. Two materials are there. So let us calculate first of all 5 by A. That is here the flux density. B is equal to 5 by A. Now the flux value is given as 3.5 into 10 power minus 4 Weber. But area is given as in 1 inch square it is. But the standard pattern is that it should be in terms of a meter square. So let us convert an inches into a meter. So 1 inch standard matrices is that 1 inch is equal 0.0254 meter, and 1 inch square is equal 6.451 into 10 power minus 4 meter square. So from this one, I am going to calculating, I am going to converting the inches into meters now. Now, L of EFAB, this length, EFAB, this length is equal 434 inches is equal 12 inches. That 12 inches is going to be converted using this formula into meters, 304.8 into 10 power minus 3 meters. So this is the meter length of first material. Similarly, the length of the second material is to be calculated in the same manner. Okay. Similarly, for the second material also, I am going to calculate converting the inches into meters. So, that I got 127 into 10 power minus 3 meters here. Area is also given in meters. Sorry. Area is also given in the inch square, so that is to be converted into meter square. Just only the conversion things. Now, we came to the actual slide now. After doing this calculation, we got the flux density B is equal to 5 by A in meter square, 0.542 Tesla, or 0.542 Weber per meter square. Weber per meter square here. Now then, what to do? If once B is calculated, then next step is what to do? Determination of the H from sheet, or determination of the H magnetic field intensity from the graph sheet. So that B is equal to 0.542. Now this 0.542 flux density is applicable to sheet steel and cast iron also. So that let us go to the graph. In this graph, for B is calculated for B of 0.542 value. For this value, as you are having the two materials of sheet steel, once again, the sheet steel, yes, sheet steel and cast iron, two metals. So that for sheet steel, this is the graph given, and for cast iron, this is the graph given, where B is equal to 0.542. It is 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, meaning that it is somewhere around here. It is now 0.542. Correspondingly, I can get a value for which one it is sheet steel, or similarly for cast iron. Similarly for cast iron also, I can get somewhere this curve. I can get somewhere this curve here. Okay. So that from this graph, for two materials, you can determine the H for magnetic field intensity, H for steel sheet as 70 ampere turns per meter, and similarly H for cast iron, it is 1600 ampere per meter. Did you understand this step? Yes or no? Did you understand this step? Okay. The only difference is that as you are having the two materials, so that are we can identify the two values in the graph sheet. One value for the sheet steel and another value for cast iron. The procedure is same, but even for the composite materials also, for the procedure is same. You will be having 2 materials or 3 materials or 5 materials, doesn't matter. But here the procedure is same and common. Same and common here. And now, after getting the H values from the graph sheet here, then you are going to be calculating the MMF, H into L. H into L is equal to MMF or drop is equal to phi into R, reluctance R value. That is equal to an MMF value. H into L value for first material it is sheet steel it is, and this value is for cast iron. Now, after that what to do? How to apply the an ampere circuital law. But apply the an ampere circuital law. So by applying an ampere circuital law, you can get this one. If you can apply the an ampere circuital law, you can get this one here, so that you can calculate I value. I value can be calculated. Secondary current I2 is calculated 4.49 amperes. So that much simple it is. Okay. Do you understand this problem? Do you understand this problem or not? Okay. We'll move to the other topic. So what you have learned till now is that series magnetic circuit and parallel magnetic circuits. In the series magnetic circuit, the flux is same, but in parallel magnetic circuit, the fluxes are not same. And secondly, we will be having the different materials, that is composite materials. A calculation of the H and again the calculation of the MMF and calculation of the required current value is same for single material and complex material also. Okay, composite material also. Now we will move to the another subtopic of composite materials. So what you have seen till now that the materials are different: sheet steel or cast iron or sheet iron or etc. etc. Now there may be chances that an air gap may also be present. So for example, if we can take a magnet here, if we can take a magnet, if we can take this magnet now, this magnet path is going to be completed through this air gap. So there is a gap is there. There is a gap is there. This is the north and south poles of this magnet, and flux is passing through this magnet through another medium. I'll redraw the figure so that I am going to having a medium. Two mediums are there. One medium is, for example, some iron material or sheet steel material is there. So that here we will be having a gap. Now the fluxes are being passing through this gap. Fluxes are reaching the north and south pole through another medium called air gap. This medium is now it is called an air gap. Now in this case also a flux is passing through two mediums. Medium one is the iron or the sheet material, and second medium is your air gap medium, on the type of composite material here. Now, in such case of the problems also, we can calculate the flux density of air gap can be calculated as Bg is equal to 5G into Ag, so, where the flux in the gap, G for gap, suffix G is meant for air gap. So here the flux density in the uh, air gap medium is equal to, over here the flux density in the air gap medium is equal to flux in the air gap, that is this gap, by area of this air gap. Generally, area of the air gap is almost negligible. So that because of that region, are going to be considering the air gap of this air gap as the area of the core only. Area of the core only here. Because air gap length is negligible. So that the flux in the air gap can also be considered as the flux in the core also. So that you can calculate the flux density in air gap. Now, because of the presence of the small air gaps in the magnetic path, some effects are going to be appearing. So, because of that effects here, we will be having now electric field intensity can be calculated as an H gap, air gap H is equal flux density in the gap by mu naught here, so that we can calculate this value for air gap mediums only. I'm telling. Let us take this problem here with air gaps here. Let me take this problem. So that here an air gap is present here. Air gap is present within this area. Air gap length, area of air gap is given. And the type of the material is cast steel. This is the medium one. This is medium number 2. Medium number 2 it is. The total flux is given, and now here length of air gap is BC. Okay, length of air gap is equal to 2 into 10 power minus 3 meters is given, and length of cast steel, that is CDEF. Where is C, D, E, F, and A and D is given for material number 1, and this is for material number 2, that is air gap length is given. The total flux in the transformer is given as 5. Area of the air gap throughout area is given here, and then applied MMF is given as is equal to 200, and required to calculate the I value. Required to calculate find the I value for circulation of this flux value, phi value. Okay, now let us try to solve this problem here. Procedure is same. Procedure is perfectly same. The only thing is that instead of the second material, I have selected air gap only. Okay, so that here, as usual, the flux density is calculated. Then again, from the BH loop curve, you can calculate the H value for the cast steel, and similarly the H value for the air gap is to be calculated by this formula. And how this formula came? from this one. Organic field intensity of air gap is equal to 7.96 into 10 power 5 into flux density in air gap Bg. So that from that formula you can calculate the magnetic field intensity in air gap here. This is calculated as 3.98 into 10 power 9 ampere turns meter. Okay. Now we need to calculate an MMF for cast steel material, and MMF for the material number 1, and MMF for material number, that is air gap. So after calculating the MMF, what to do? Got to apply an ampere circuit law. Or to apply an ampere circuit law. So by applying an ampere circuit law, so that we can calculate the current I is equal to 4.12 amperes. Okay. But did you understand this problem? Okay. So that here the procedure is same. Whether the problem is having 2 materials or 3 materials or air gap, single air gap, or 2 air gaps or 3 air gaps, it doesn't matter. Procedure is same. Procedure is same, so that you try to follow the procedure only. So these are the things in our third unit. These are the things in our third unit. Okay. What did you got? What did you understand the third unit? Or do you have any doubt here?
No, sir.
Third unit is clear. Are any doubts here? Or do you have any doubts in third chapter? Okay. Once again, I will explain the same problem of air gap again. So that you remember the procedure is that now first of all we are going to calculating the flux density B value. Step number 1 is the calculation of the flux density B value for okay. Now step number 2 is that from the graph of BH loop curve, BH loop curve, we need to determine the H value, magnetic field intensity of H value. So for example, in the problem, if you are having two mediums like cast steel and air gap, then you need to determine two values of H. Or else if you are having the three different materials, then you need to determine and the H value for three materials. Or then afterwards, step number 3 is applying an ampere circuit law, so that you can calculate the current I2. So by following this procedure, we will try to understand this air gap problem. So try to carefully analyze the given question first, so that here you need to find out the I value. You need to find out the I value where MMF is given, N into I is given. So for that MMF, you need to calculate the I value. Now in this material are having the cast steel material. This is first medium and second medium is air gap medium. This air gap medium. This air gap is present in between B and C. Is right? This air gap is present in between the points B and C. So length of this air gap LBC is equal to 2 into 10 power minus 3 meter as given in the problem itself. As given in the problem itself. Now the length of other material, that is cast steel material, this length is equal B, A, F, E, D and C. This is a cast steel material length. Okay. So for that one, we will try to, okay. This is the air gap length. This is the air gap length. Okay, fine. Now, first step is calculation of flux density B. B is equal to 5 by A. Okay. Area is given and phi is given. So that B is equal to 5 by A can be calculated. Can calculate 5 by A. Okay. You got some phi value as 0.5 Tesla. So that for this 0.5 B value, I have to go for the graph sheet. Graph sheet I have not shown here. From the base loop graph sheet, you can calculate the H value from the base loop graph sheet. So it is there in the first problem. I will show you. So from this graph sheet, we can calculate H value. H value is to be calculated for material number 1, and H value for material number 2 also can be calculated from this graph sheet. Okay. So for the material cast steel one, I have been obtained from a graph sheet as 280 ampere turns per meter. And similarly for air gap length here, for an air gap length, now the formula is already given. Based on this formula, so that field intensity of magnetic field intensity of air gap is equal to 7.96 into 10 power 5 into Bg, that is flux density of air gap. Flux density of air gap in this problem is calculated 0.5 Tesla. So that it is 0.5 into 7.96 into 10 power 5. So that you got the value of H value. Then MMF is equal H into L. H into L for the cast steel and H into L for air gap length. And the third step is applying an ampere circuit law. So that here an applied MMF is equal to a MMF for core and MMF for air gap length. Total it is 8 into 4 ampere turns. so that you can calculate I value. Okay, what did you got the point? What do you understand now? Okay, okay, thank you. So this one completed the all the 5 units of electrical circuit analysis. The only pending part from my side is the an important questions for the chapters 3, 4, and 5. And by this evening, I will give you the an important questions to your CR, and you can circulate to you. Okay. Shall we close this class?
Okay, sir.
Okay. I will give you the important questions by this evening itself,
Okay, sir.
and you can forward it. Okay. Thank you very much.
Sir. Okay, sir.
Okay.